things that I felt like was chipped away at our trust initially was my tone and my words.
I'm sorry.
What?
You said that.
You weren't expecting that, right?
I wasn't expecting that. I'm sorry. Oh,
yes, so I'm working through. I feel like I've been delivered, but deliverance is an ongoing process.
Yeah.
But I used to be extremely sarcastic, and quick-witted, sharp-tongued type of communicator.
In public, with people.
In public and private.
Didn't care.
I did it as a way. What?
Go ahead, just hang
No, I did it as a way of protecting myself.
I'm recalling something.
You know what? I would say so much. I don't remember most of the stuff that I would say. But anyways, I would do it as a way of protecting myself because it's like if you say something in a sarcastic enough tone, you don't know if a person really means it or not.
Yeah.
But also, too, it worked against me. I didn't understand that it was working against me when it came to me wanting him to be more vulnerable with me versus me, versus me protecting myself.
This is the B-side, 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 the marriage. This is the B-side, 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 the marriage.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the B-Side of Marriage podcast. I am your host, Rashonda, and this is my husband and co-host,
Jason.
And here at the B-Side, we talk about everything related to marriage. The good, the bad, the real, the A, and the B-side. So also remember that you can check us out on YouTube if you're listening to us. We're on the YouTubes. Please be sure to do all the things related to YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things. And if you're listening to us, please be sure to do the same.
As well, follow us on Facebook at The B-Side of Marriage and on Instagram at B-Side of Marriage.
All right, that it?
That's it.
All right, let's roll on into our first segment. Well, actually, before we roll in, we want to thank all the people who are joining us for the first time. Welcome to our humble abode.
Oh, goodness.
No, we love for new people to find us and, watch our content. And if you're an OG, thank you for returning.
So where we start off at?
Okay, so now I can roll into. Okay,
you can go
so
ahead.
Now let's roll into our first segment, which we like to call A or B side, where we share a real or a not so glamorous part of our week. I was trying to get the.
Well, I guess I'll say mine is the A side. To see our oldest come into his own into something that was unexpected. So my son, he hasn't played soccer in probably like 3 years, and he was good at soccer, but he stopped playing because he wanted to play football, and then he went to basketball. But now he's playing goalie, and he's really good at it. For the first time, he's pretty good. So
he's pretty, yeah. Thank you.
No,
Okay.
he's pretty good. No, like just to see like he has great reaction, so. There's something we got to tweak, but other than that, it's like his natural reaction. He's not scared of the ball, and like I said,
which is surprising.
We was kicking the ball. Like it wasn't like no little tap. No, we was kicking the ball. We was making it bounce and pop up, and he was. So it was like I was like, okay. So that's mine. What about you?
I also have an A side.
Okay.
So with this new season that we're in, Jay is he's more responsible now I was
like, why you gotta say like I'm more responsible?
No, not more responsible, but you're been tagged to do a lot of the things with the kids, like as far as like getting them to school and whatever.
Gotcha.
Anywho, my A side moment though is when I got a notification from the family calendar that my husband had booked a play date.
I was Where you going with this?
He booked a play date for our daughter, but not only did he do that, because he'll be quick to say, "Oh yes, we made plans. We're gonna be," but the fact that he made the plans and then he put them in the family calendar, and then notified me. Oh, it was amazing. I was like, God is so good. God is so good. He doesn't like to use the family calendar. I don't know why.
Fill up the love bank. That's just filling up the love bank. There.
So yes, that's great. I'm like, oh, he does know how to do it. Like he can do this. It's great. So that's my side.
Oh man. Okay. So next we have the next thing we talk about is the P2P share, where we share something we're reading, listening to, or watching. So what you got for me?
So,
sorry.
I would like everyone, I'm not wearing one of her shirts today, but I would like everyone to go check out dopeblackmamas.com. Our friend, the founder, she has a beautiful story to tell. Also, too, she's just starting she's just kicking off 2 new collections, and it deals with legacy, and it deals with just really like highlighting women, especially because it's Women's History Month. It's just a really great company, and it's a really great idea, like concept. That's what I'm saying. So so check her out. She's now going to start trying to maintain inventory throughout the year instead of her seasonal distributions, seasonal releases. There we go. I'm gonna get through this episode. So she'll have some. Not all of her pieces will be available year round, but she will make sure that she has something in inventory instead of just seasonal releases. So check her out. A lot of good stuff there.
I ain't got nothing.
Good. And you was kidding on me.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing exactly because this past 2 weeks I've been getting ready for coaching, so I don't.
Okay.
I've been focused on because again I'm coaching 2 teams, soccer, basketball.
I'm so surprised that wasn't your B side.
Because I like coaching. As much as I wanted to take a step back with basketball, I enjoy coaching. I just do. So I love to see that light bulb go off when they finally get it and then they put it to action. So, but I don't have anything. So what are we talking about then?
We're talking about trust.
Okay.
No, we have been really working with our oldest son on trust, on maintaining the trust that we have with him. Okay. We tell him often that it's so easy, it's hard to earn trust, but quick to lose it. Mm-hmm. And so we are really doing that. We're talking about that because we want him to be accountable for his actions. And knowing that if we trust you, it's because we trust that even when we're not around, that you're going to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. And the moment that we cannot trust you to do those things, and that means that you can't be out of our eyesight. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That means you can't. That means we have to revoke some of your privileges because we don't trust you in that. And so it just really made me think about marriage, so we think that just because we get married, that we're supposed to trust each other.
Right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And it's so weird. There is supposed to be a level of trust. Mm-hmm. And there usually is some level of trust. Correct.
But the process of marriage is that you get to build and deepen that trust. Okay. And then when that trust is taken away, mm-hmm. or when the trust is abused, then it takes so much effort to rebuild it.
Yeah.
And so I just want to talk about that a little bit. So I don't really have I don't have my 3 points. I don't have any of that. I just wanted to talk about how trust has really played in our relationship. Mm-hmm. And then just talk through, I guess, some of the benefits of trust, and just kind of go with it, see what happens.
Okay.
Okay. So being that, I guess my question to you is, why did you trust me off the jump? Being that I was from and living in Texas, and you were in New York. Or did you trust me?
I did. And
I guess that's a better question. I just assumed, but
so it's it's interesting you asked me that question, because if I didn't trust you, I wouldn't have always like let you know what I was doing, where I was going, all those little things. If I didn't trust you, I wouldn't have done none of that. So like, okay. So you wouldn't. So you know, if I didn't trust you, I wouldn't have done that. Because if I didn't trust you, I'd have been like, hey, I'm just gonna do my own thing. And if I tell you, I tell you. If not, she's not around. That's for me. I've always, and we've been together quite a long time now, but inside in the relationship I've had, it was always long relationships. So I always, for me, once I did the work that I needed to after, breakup before that, mm-hmm. I had to be able to let go of those things that I was holding on to. And if I'm going to, commit to something and go into a relationship, I'm gonna not hold on to and say, you know what, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Like for me, that's what I did, because that's like that night in the room when I said, listen, me and you, we cut everybody off. Like that was me telling you, like, listen, I'm cutting everybody off, and it's gonna be me and you. Like that was me giving you. If you just said, nah, I'm good, we may not be here right now. But you actually was like, okay. So, yeah, kind of answer your question or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You gonna ask me a question?
Okay, yeah. Did you trust me?
No. Didn't. But I also too is because of previous relationships and because of where I was in life at that time. Okay. I wasn't looking for anything serious. Okay. So it was a part of protecting myself.
Gotcha.
So I didn't care if what you were saying was true or not. Mm-hmm. I wasn't looking for anything serious. So that way, if if I found out that you were lying to me, mm-hmm. I'm good, because I had already protected myself.
Gotcha.
If you were telling me the truth, that's cool too, because I'm not looking for anything serious. Yeah. So I was really just like, oh, okay. Because even when you were like, you can trust me, sure. And what I think is so interesting is that oftentimes we base our starting level of trust in our marriage based off of previous relationships.
Correct. Yeah.
And so that's why I thought it was interesting that's how, because of what happened in your previous relationship, you did your own work. And then you're like, okay, so this relationship, I'm going to start off with trust. Versus me, I was like, I'm not setting myself up to look gullible or vulnerable. Yeah. Based off of previous relationships. Okay. So I wouldn't say I trusted. I would say I didn't trust you. So, because I, as we keep talking about, I didn't really trust you. Okay. Honestly, whatever you said, I thought you were lying. Okay. Because of even the guy I was dating. Okay. When I met you. Yeah. I couldn't trust. Okay. Before that, I had a history of not being able to trust the people that I was dating.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's why I had the protection of, hey, I'm not going to believe whatever he says. So regardless if he's telling the truth or not, it doesn't hurt me.
So when did it start? Like, when did you start, like, you know what, I trust this dude? Like, when did that start?
Honestly, it was when I came out to New York and I was like hanging with your friends. Like when we went to the club that night.
Oh, okay.
Because when you're a trustworthy person, you don't have to tell me to trust you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where things started to like break. Okay. Because it's like if you're a trustworthy person, other people are going to see that and other people are going to speak on your behalf without you having to. Okay, so she might ask y'all. So remember, we're not talking about old girl number 1, old girl number 2 tonight, okay?
Yeah.
Like, you could prep your friends and your family when they're gonna meet the other, or the new boo. No, I'm just saying, generally, that's what you can do, right? And so for you actually at one point left me with Mel. Knowing that I'm trying to get the scoop on, like, basically from everybody, and you be comfortable with that.
Okay.
And that's why I was like, okay, so maybe what he's saying is true. And then they'll say things they don't know what you've told me, or I don't know what you've told them. They don't know what you've told me.
Correct.
So when they share something, it's not like. They were like, oh, yeah, well, when we whatever. And I'm like, oh, he did say that that's where he was at.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. I'm putting 2 and 2 together. They don't necessarily know.
Yeah, they just talk.
Because they're just talking.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So, like, stories are matching up even though there's not a story to tell.
Gotcha.
And so I'm just like, and then I'm just looking and I'm watching and the things that they're saying, they're doing, and the way y'all are interacting. I'm like, oh, okay. I might be able, at that point I was like, I might be able to trust him.
Okay.
And then, and so then I think at that point is where it started to build.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just saying, I
can't believe you would trust me right off the jump.
Listen, like, I've told you this before. Like, I'm not going to go into a relationship and just put walls up. If I'm going to go in, I'm going to go in all open. Just let things happen. I'm not going to put that wall up and kind of like break stuff. It's not what I did. Again, that is from the time, we went to Dallas BBQs. Again, I didn't fit. I just said, oh, she's cute. She has a beautiful smile. That was it. And I was like, and then when I got to the car, that's when I was like, wait a second, what am I doing? And then I was like, yeah, she got a man, but I was like, whatever. If she calls me, hey, we'll see what happens. And that's, again, prior to that, I wasn't looking for anything, but when I saw you and we talked, and I was like, I can possibly see something with the girl. So, and again, I went into it open, not cutting anything off. So you, like I said, you was gonna get, you just like that night, you're gonna get all of me, the craziness, the hilariousness, all of that.
Yeah, I just find it so interesting because even after you were like, we're gonna cut everybody off, I was like, you won't know.
Honestly, I didn't.
It's so weird. Like, I feel like our roles have always been reversed. Because usually it's typically the female who's like all trusting, like going all in, and it's the guy who's like, I'm not really sure if I'm ready, like to be like settling down kind of thing.
No, but
that was literally me. I was like,
but that's the thing. That's where I was at that point. I was in the mode that I'm not going to be doing this, hanging out, going to the club, trying to meet. No, I'm going to find that person and I'm going to work it. I don't say it like that, but I'm going to do everything I can to, work in that relationship, so that's just how, that's my making my build, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because honestly, I don't even know within that first month. I know I cut off the boyfriend. Yeah. That was, I think, I was looking for like a confirmation. Like, I already knew this guy was not the guy. And then us having that conversation is kind of like, okay, yeah, so he's out. But I don't think my mindset had truly shifted at that point. I mean, I was still hanging out.
Okay.
No, I mean, I was still going out, whatever I was, because especially the job that I had.
And the thing is, even though you may not think you had trust in me, when we made it official, you would tell me what you're doing. Like I don't
think I was 100% transparent.
But
I just can't.
Again, but you was telling me this stuff. Like, again, we used to talk during lunch. Mm-hmm. So like you should like just how we do now. Like you come home, you talk about everything. That's what we did at lunchtime.
Yeah.
You sit in the car and talk, and that's like talk on the phone. That's literally what we do. So you gave me the rundown. You may have not thought that you wasn't trusting me, but for the stuff you was telling me, yeah, you were.
I did think that our conversations were different. Mm-hmm. So I did probably tell you more than I probably wanted to.
You still stuff.
But yeah, I don't know. It was just weird. Yeah, it was just weird. Yeah.
Like, you may have not. I guess I don't say you had enough trust in me to tell me some stuff that you probably wouldn't tell. You probably wouldn't have told somebody else.
Okay, definitely agree there. Now, so let's talk about what does trust kind of, I guess not what does it look like, but the importance of trust now. Now that we're, 14 years in?
16, but...
Yes, 14 years married. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. I guess, yeah, how, like, what is the importance of trust now?
Honestly, to me, it's just something that we continue just building on. I think what we started with, it's just the only thing I can think of is a snowball. Okay. We just continue to like roll that snowball, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I think we put in place, but I think we have some things that we have put in place that have, I don't say fortified the trust, but because we're constantly rolling this thing, and we're constantly adding more and more to it, is making it stronger and stronger and stronger, the trust that we have. That's just how I see it. Mm-hmm. So
I can see that. I will say, that snowball has not been a continuous roll.
No, it is. Sometimes it stops.
Sometimes it goes back, or it defrosts. If we're keeping it, sometimes there's some defrosting, so it's smaller.
Yeah.
Than it was, because there are situations that we have encountered that has chipped. I wouldn't say like completely broken, but it has chipped away at it.
Yeah.
And I think the importance of trust in our marriage now is that it's one of our core components of our foundation. And we've been able to, those areas that have been chipped, we've been able to restore.
Correct.
So that is a deepening now. So there's two things I want to say. Hopefully I don't forget the second one, because you know how I get. But the first one, around the loss of trust, I think that so many people, when you're in a marriage, when you think, trust has been broken, you think about infidelity.
Yeah.
And whether that be cheating or lying, but it's always, I feel like, when you the trust is broken in a marriage, it's the big, like a significant breaks.
Like the snowball went down and burst.
Yes, like it's significant breaks.
Yeah.
But I think the B side of marriage, like, the real of marriage is that it's like little things that kind of just chips away at trust, that if you're not intentional about those areas, that will cause the bigger breaks, like the bigger chunks to fall off.
Yeah.
So, for example, one of the things that was chipping away at your trust in me, because, so there's, I think when we first started and what we just talked about was kind of like we talked about with the communication, it was kind of like a superficial, like first level.
Yeah.
Like, I trust that you said that you're going to the store and you're coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, kind of that kind of thing. Like, I trust that you're not getting phone numbers when you go out with the boys, kind of thing, or, working on, hollering at women, whatever. Like, that kind of like foundational like black and white type of situations. Gotcha. So in order to get to that like next level of trust came with us spending time together, with us talking to each other and just kind of just like being with each other, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I felt like was chipped away at our trust initially was my tone and my words.
I'm sorry.
What?
You said that.
You weren't expecting that, right?
I wasn't expecting that. I'm sorry.
Yes. So I'm working through. I feel like I've been delivered, but deliverance is an ongoing process.
Yeah.
But I used to be extremely sarcastic, and quick-witted, sharp-tongued type of communicator.
In public, with people.
In public and private.
Didn't care.
I did it as a way. What?
Go ahead, just
no, I did it as a way of protecting myself.
I'm recalling something.
You know what? I would say so much. I don't remember most of the stuff that I would say. But anyways, I would do it as a way of protecting myself because it's like if you say something in a sarcastic enough tone, you don't know if a person really means it or not.
Yeah.
But also, too, it worked against me. I didn't understand that it was working against me when it came to me wanting him to be more vulnerable with me versus me, versus me protecting myself. Mm-hmm. So I would say some things, especially like if we were in a argument, oh man, there's no telling what would come out of my mouth. So yeah, if we were in an argument, there is no telling what would come out of my mouth. It was all hands on deck. I mean, yes. Because one thing I'm not going to do, I am not going to lose an argument. I honestly thought I was going to be a lawyer at one point because of the way that I'm like, I have point A through Z, whatever, to prove to you how you are wrong and I am right. And therefore, you gonna get all of that.
And I wanted to be a lawyer at one point too. I didn't know what type of lawyer I was gonna be, but everybody, people said that, I
didn't want to be a lawyer.
I had a presence and I wanted to, but I was like, I don't feel like going to school that long. That's really for me. I was like, I don't feel like going to school that long.
No, I didn't want to be a lawyer. It was just that I was just very good at remembering situations.
Recall. Pulling the album from way back here, like, you got this?
Do you remember? Maybe that's why the Lord has challenged my memory, my long-term memory. Because before, early on in the relationship, I can remember anything. I remember on September 2nd at 2:30, you said, when I had you had said, and so now that comes back, and I'm gonna use that against you. Now. What was I talking about? Okay, yeah. See what I'm saying? But yeah, so I was so focused and intent on like winning the fight, as well as like proving to you that I'm not gonna be the chick to back down. And I'm not gonna be the one that you can just easily walk all over. So it's really I was so focused on self-preservation. Yeah, preservation. Preservation? Anyways, y'all know what I'm saying. I was so intent on that I didn't realize that I was creating an environment where he felt like he can trust me in sharing of emotions. Like, why would he share his emotions with someone who he knew I was keeping a record of? And he knew that I could bring that back up at any point. And I think so often we miss those are small, although it's a small thing, it can create significant impact. It can significantly impact your relationship, because if you can't trust me with your feelings, why should you share them?
And I'll say it like this, for me, yes, it was hurting. It was hurting the relationship. But for me, I always something. I don't remember. It was one of the marriage ministry things we did. Somebody had said something, and it was talking about luggage. That when you get in a relationship, you bring your luggage with you. So I understood that it was going to take some time for you to, and I'm not saying for me to do anything, but for you to get a realization of what that baggage that you're carrying and how it's affecting our relationship. So for me, it bothered me. Yeah, it kept me from being vulnerable at times, but at times I knew this was just a process that you had to kind of break down yourself. These walls that you had to break down yourself and get to a point where it wasn't about you just having to be right all the time, or you just trying to cut me just because somebody else did.
And that's it right there.
So, but no, that's, again, when I moved down here, like I said, nothing was going to break that. So.
Right, but that a key thing that you said, it was stuff that had happened previously in previous relationships that I was like, it's not going to show up again here.
But you was bringing it back.
Right, well, because the whole thing was in those moments, I'm bringing back all of the things okay, so. One of the things that I do, how I therapize everybody on TV. Yeah. Well, what you can do, people do it themselves. Yeah. They be like, okay, I remember that situation, that happened before. What I should have said was this. What I should have done is this. Yeah. So when that came back up, I'm handling it different. Because I've learned from previously how that didn't work out. Yeah. It didn't work out for me, I felt like. Yeah. So in this situation, I'm going to give you what I should have done back then. I'm going to give you that. But that still doesn't fit our scenario.
That's what I'm saying.
Because as a different person.
You're trying to give me something that somebody else did that has no bearing in what
exactly
in our situation right now.
And I think we do that all the time in marriage. We're like, in that previous relationship, I was. Let me give an example. Well, actually, for me, I felt like I didn't speak up for myself enough.
Okay.
I was very much. I got to a point where, because at that point, when you're in certain relationships, you want it to work, so you overlook all of the stuff that's saying, girl, run. But you're like, no, I'm make it work. Yeah. And so I felt like I wasn't speaking up for myself.
Gotcha.
So when we get together, one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to speak up for myself.
Yeah.
And I would give you a lot of energy for situations that it didn't even require it. But I'm speaking up for myself, not realizing, yes, the way that I'm speaking up for myself is causing you to be like, she is team too much. She needs to go work it out. Okay, fine, and whatever. And you move on. And then that became frustrating because I'm like, you're not reacting how I played it out in my head. You're not reacting that way. So I must still didn't do it right. So now I have to tweak and whatever. And so it's just but it's all that to say, it's when you're trying to put up these walls, you cannot have a double standard in a marriage.
Okay.
Meaning, if I want you to be vulnerable, to share the why behind some of the things that you're saying, I can't then not do the same. So what we learn later on is when someone's giving you energy that is opposite of what you're giving, asking, well, what's going on? What's going on behind? What's the motivation behind that? Why are you saying that? Why are you feel? I feel like when you said that, I feel like there's something more to it. Because right now we have that. Like we just built this communication and just like our relationship to where if he says something or he asks me to do something and I snap, he's automatically like, well, where did that come from? And that's all. It's like, where did that come from? And because he brings it back to me, I'm like, oh, either one, I'm dealing with something else. And whenever he asked me that question, I just gave him that energy.
Yeah.
Or two, like something's wrong. There's more to it. Mm-hmm. So either way, there's more to it in the way that I responded. But it gives me a chance to be like, oh, okay. Either yes, I did give you that energy because, and we talk about it, or, oh no, I was thinking about something else and you asked me, I was just, whatever. But we dig more into it because it's not, because I want him to be able to trust that he can, one, share his emotions with me, as well as two, be willing to come to me with things.
So another thing, and this is again an example.
Sorry, I'm not doing a good job trying to get comfortable.
So it's like another example that for us is she wanted me to be vulnerable, but when I would talk, she would try to answer my like tell me what I'm gonna say, and I'm like, so I used to just stop and say, what's wrong? I'm like, if you're gonna talk for me, why you want me? Like I used to be like, if you want to talk for me, then go ahead, like. And so she, again, this is an example of how, of how we had to, the things we had to learn, because the simple fact is, like, you wanted me to open up and say things, but then when I'm saying things, she's trying to finish my sentence. It's like, no, you're not in here. I can't be vulnerable if you don't know what's up in here. So,
yeah. No, what you're saying is right. I was trying to figure out how to...
rebuttal or jump
No,
in?
to say my side without sounding like a jerk. That's really... So yeah. Because I've learned that me and Jay operate at different paces. And because we operate at different paces, sometimes it can be frustrating to me because I want him to move at a faster pace. But I've learned that his pace is intentional for him, and sometimes I just need to slow down. And so what would happen is Jay's stories, or they're not stories. When Jay communicates, he uses all of the words, and all of the words takes all of the time. And because I'm moving so fast, I want him to get there quicker. So what I would do, I would jump in, try to summarize. So, try to move what he's trying to share along, not understanding that was kind of minimizing the situation. It also could come across as I don't have enough time to listen.
That's good.
Like, I want you to share, but share under my conditions.
You got 5 minutes.
With my requirements.
Like, that's literally you got 5 minutes, go. And it's like, okay, I can't cut what I got to say down in 5 minutes, but okay.
Right. And I will always challenge it. You really can't. I'm sure. I'm sure you can.
You do that. You'd be like, no.
I was like, I'm sure. Just summarize. High level. I used to give him all of the corporate speak. He couldn't stand it.
Yep.
But that's what I was, because I literally would bring my work home.
Yeah.
Because that's how I had to talk at work. I'm like, oh, and so then not realizing that I was doing it to him, and then I'm like, oh. And now now I'm like, okay, I know if we're gonna talk, I have to set time. Like, I have set time aside to just be like, okay,
go,
just like, yeah, because I think also too. I wanted you to share, but I didn't really want you to share. I want to be like, oh yeah, we talk about things all the time. Because at the end of the day, if you share, then I have to share.
She didn't want to share.
No. I want it to be very one-sided.
Yeah.
I want you to trust me with your feelings, but then also, too, just trust me with your feelings. Don't ask me to reciprocate that. And it's not that I didn't trust you in it. It's just that, honestly, I didn't trust myself. I did not trust myself to be able to share. I didn't trust that. I don't know. Maybe I didn't trust you. Sorry, I'm processing it in real time. Because if I shared my true feelings, it went against my obsession with perfectionism.
Oh, okay.
So if I truly share how I feel, it might not meet the expectations of what you expect from this perfect wife. Even though I'm not perfect, but it was this persona, like this, because I felt like as a wife, there are certain expectations. Mm-hmm. And then as your wife, I felt like, oh, there must be a certain, like he's looking for, even though you didn't really say it, like, I'm like, oh, he's looking for this. So if I say like how I really feel, he gonna be like, oh, she like crazy for real. Or she really got some issues. Like, I just felt like it would take away from the persona that I was trying to. Again,
you said a perfectionist.
And it is.
And a persona.
Exactly.
Instead of giving your true self, you was trying to give you a part of who you thought I wanted you to be.
Correct.
Instead of
and how others, because that was the whole thing. Like, I'm dealing with a family I know nothing about. Like, I never thought that I would marry someone who would not be from around the area, you know? And your family was just so different. And so I was like, oh, they probably think, oh, I'm from Texas, so there's no telling what they think about a Texan girl, right? And I don't know, it was just like a lot going on. So I think that's why I was afraid to share, because also, too, I wasn't being honest with myself about a lot of things. Okay. And so it was just like, I don't want to share them. So that's why I was like, you can share, but don't expect me to share. And if I would share, it would be very thin. It would be brief.
It'd be brief. I'll be telling stuff, and then she'd be like, well, okay. Like, it's not like that, but that's pretty much what it was.
No, that's pretty much kind of like that.
Like, well, I'm good. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like.
Ooh, I'm just thinking about this. This is crazy, yeah. So that's what I was like. I feel like now, to kind of wrap it up, I feel like now, like I said, trust is a key component of our foundation, the foundation of our marriage. I think right now, what I want to get to, that I think that we're not, there's always areas of growth, right? Areas to grow, and we both have a growth mindset. What I would like to get to is having the ability to share our fears. Trusting each other with the sharing of the fears, trusting each other to understand the failures. Yeah. That, like, that's to say, I feel like there's levels of that. That's the kind of community, that's the kind of, that's where we are now. Like, those are the depths we're trying to get to. Yeah. I can't, in theory, you can always go back. I can regress and go back and create an environment where he doesn't feel safe. By doing so, I don't get to get to that deeper understanding of who my husband is. I can't create a hostile, an environment, an unstable environment where he doesn't know what Rashawn is he gonna get. Like, if the environment is unsafe, unstable, trust cannot
grow.
Like, it can't grow.
It can't grow.
Because you have to be, well, that's my marriage too.
You'd be on the defense. You'd be on the defense all the time. So, and then, like, again, while you was talking, like, the whole thought of, like, a snowball going down and stuff like that, or just rolling a snowball and then bits and pieces come out. So, you know, when you rebuilding trust, it's basically like you're just putting more snow in those areas. Like, you know, if being from the North, I've done snowmans before, you know, and when you roll it, sometimes it may not you know, you may get like something gets stuck in it, a rock. So you got a little bit divot. So what you do is you take some more and you pack it in and then get it to where you want to do it. So that's what, you know, when we had those breaks in our truss, that's what we did. We actually got some more snow, put it back in there, rolled it out, and then kept rolling like that and just kept rolling. Again, I'm not saying, you know, the snowball has gone down a little hill at one point and then it came back up straight. You know, we've had to go up and down, but it's never been down like...
It seemed like it was about to go off a mountain.
So, but I was just thinking about that, sorry. But.
No, that's good. Yeah, it is. And I don't think, well, that might be another episode on how you can rebuild trust once it's broken. Okay. Because I think that like we start off the episode saying that to regain trust is a lot of work. Because you always start off with a certain level of trust, and then the moment that you lose it, it can be devastating, depending on the magnitude of the break.
Correct.
So yeah, maybe we'll talk about that in a different episode. Okay. But so we feel like, I mean, trust is key.
Yes, it is.
The key to trust is having is open communication and also to being each other's safe place. So that's the marriage advance tip. Oh, did you have anything else?
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So the marriage advance tip is that we are to be each other's safe landing space. The world is crazy. So you go out.
Don't bring the crazy home.
Yeah, you deal with people. You don't want to have to come home and continue that. You just don't want to come home to have to deal with the crazy, deal with tension, deal with anxiety, like being anxious, like, oh, is he good? Is she good? Oh, she looked like she, you know, snappy or whatever. You don't want to do all that.
Yeah.
You want to come home and just be your true and authentic self and be vulnerable with each other. And in order to do that, you have to create a safe place. You have to have trust, knowing that whatever is shared is not going to be, first of all, does not need to be eloquent, doesn't need to be thoroughly researched, doesn't have to be communicated efficiently or effectively.
Or shared.
I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be all wrapped up nice with a bow, to share with your spouse. Also, whatever is shared stays within, between you two. Yeah. And it's not going to come back, whether it's public or privately, with a negative tone.
You're not putting arrows back in.
Yes.
Got that? Okay, let me put that. Like, you're not putting arrows back here waiting to be like, oh.
Yes.
I heard you. No, you're not doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that is truly detrimental to building trust or to having trust. Yeah. If you weaponize.
Because pretty much, if one weaponizes, the other one's going to start doing the same thing. So all you're going to be doing is firing darts at each other.
At each other. Oh, the moment it becomes weaponized, it creates disconnection.
Yeah.
And separation.
That's true.
Immediately. Because, if I tell you, first of all, because also too, you got to know your spouse. If your spouse, if Jay would ever do that to me, it's a wrap. Because first of all, it took forever for me to even break down a wall to even think about sharing something with you. And then the moment I do, you want to throw it back in my face. After I shared that with you in one of my most vulnerables, nah, I'm good. You ain't got to worry about me, okay? I would rather write it in a journal and then burn the pages than to share anything with you.
Burn the pages.
Yes, because I don't want you to be trying to sneak around, try to find my journal. No, I'm going to take the journal, I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to burn the pages.
I'll say all mine are exposed. So
I'm saying if that was the kind of relationship we had.
Yeah, it's like...
No, right now I feel like...
If you read my journal, you read my journal.
We're so trusting. I feel like we're so trusting with each other. I mean, there's one boundary that I don't want to cross, but that's TMI. But
okay.
Bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't believe in being in the bathroom while you in the bathroom.
Talking with the door, like what?
Yes, shut that door. I don't. That's too much togetherness. Nope. So that is one boundary I do reinforce. But now I forgot what I was gonna say.
The marriage bed sip you was talking about.
No, I know, but I was just about to say something else, and then I got distracted about the one thing that us being so trusting. That's what I was
okay. I was like, I didn't know where you was going.
Is that we're so trusting that we both journal. Mm-hmm. We both have access to each other's journals.
Yep. Access to each other's phone,
access to phones,
computers,
access to computers. Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah. Literally, we share a LastPass.
Yeah. So we share all our passwords.
So all our passwords are
safe. So it's like we share passwords. So it's not.
So yeah. And it wasn't like. I mean, it was nothing like we demanded. Like I need to see. No, it was just. That's just kind of how it evolved, and that's what I'm gonna say. Once you're each other's safe place, you'll realize how freeing it is to be able to come home and just be your authentic self.
You don't have to be creating a facade of who you are.
Literally, you are living your authentic and being your authentic self. That is so freeing. It's so peaceful. It is just so relaxing to be like, hey, I'm home. And I don't have to worry about, did I lock my iPad? I know I gave him the password last week, but then I went and changed it. So I wonder if he tried to get into my, I can't.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
First of all, life is so busy. I don't have time for it. Mm-hmm. And also, too, the way my memory is set up, I can't do it.
You got a checking and savings?
I tell off on myself.
You got a checking and savings?
Yeah, where my checking and savings set up, it just won't work. I would definitely tell off on myself before anything. I'm like, listen. You be like, didn't you say you were? I did I? Yeah, I was there. And then I would twist my own stuff up. It wouldn't even be worth it. But and I think, I know every time we say marriage advance, it never ends.
It never ends.
But what I want to say is, we have been able to build a trust and create and create a safe place for each other, that we can even tell each other the difficult things that we're feeling about each other. Mm-hmm. Just because we said I do back in 2008.
See her memory? She's asking.
It is 2008.
Yes, it is 2008. But
she
wasn't sure.
I wasn't sure, but
that's the memory.
Shush. But there's moments when I be like, yo, I don't really like you right now. Or it's like, I'm feeling like I'm not a priority. Mm-hmm. Or we are able to have those difficult conversations when things are not feeling right.
Yeah.
But we trust that we trust each other, we can have those conversations without penalty. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't say, I don't think I'm a priority, and then he tried to set up a date night, but I'm like, oh, well, actually, I have something else planned. See, I already told you. You want to talk about you ain't a priority. I tried to book this date night, and now, what, you too busy to be with me. So it ain't me, it's you. Like, that... No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I don't talk like that. So
I know you don't, but you don't. So, but it doesn't really come across if if I responded how you actually do respond.
Yeah.
So I say it wouldn't come across. So I have to, gangster it up. Now listen, if it comes to safety, better watch out, that New Yorker jump out. But yeah, because he crazy. But you have to be able to in the safe places, not all, because you don't only share things when things are rosy.
Yeah, roses. Yeah,
All happy, go lucky.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to be able to still share, like I said, the fears, your negative, well, not negative, your feelings that might not. Your feelings of inadequacy or whatever, like those tough conversations, those tough feelings, you need to be able to share those too, knowing that they will be heard and they will be protected just like the good ones.
No, that's true, and that's facts. That is definitely facts.
All right. That's the longest Marriage Advance tip.
It was like, what, 18 minutes? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know, because you checked. That's all.
I was looking. I was like,
it's fine.
I was looking at how much we got more recording time. That's what I was looking at. Anyway, like, follow, and share.
Yes.
If you feel like this episode, touched you, or somebody that this episode may touch, like I said, share it to them. Miss anything else? No.
Nope.
And until next week,
Peace.
Peace.